Taste Test Mondays. That is what we always look forward to on a Monday. And when I talk to you about Smak, and that's, I hope I pronounce it correctly, right? Smak Deli. It is a restaurant in Bree Street. Bree Street, home to a lot of phenomenal restaurants. So you've got to be particularly good to keep your doors open. So Smak, of course, is a Cape Town-based restaurant founded by Katja Surf. And she'll tell me how to pronounce that as well. And has combined her local and global chefing experiences to create a warm, welcoming environment for all guests. I'm not going to give the game away by reading all of this. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So how do I pronounce your surname?
Chef.
Chef. Okay, that's cool. Chef isn't chef. If you're really posh, you can say, she's a chef. She's a, anyway.
Chef.
So, Katja, tell me your story. You're the founder of Smak. Just tell us your story first, your journey. It talks about your chefing experience.
So I studied at Prue Leith Chef's Academy. I believe you had her on air last week. And after that, I transferred to Cape Town, worked at Test Kitchen, which was then best restaurant in Africa. Yeah. Great experience. And then I traveled to France and I got the opportunity to study at a college there. And I specialized in pastry.
Oh, lovely.
So you'll be tasting my famous cheesecake.
That sounds lovely.
That's something to look forward to. And when I got back from France, I opened the restaurant. Very short-lived journey. Not much experience.
But everybody says you're going to have loads of experience. Sometimes it's better just to dive in head first and do what you do. You can cook, right? You know what to do. And sometimes people, I think, put too much emphasis on the experience itself and how experienced you are. I'm looking at this food and it looks yum. So let's talk about your menu first and foremost. Where about in Bree Street are you?
Number 22, so it's lower down Bree, closer to the foreshore side.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. Nice business area.
It is. No. That foreshore area is, with all the developments taking place there, the improvements taking place. I'm sure lots of feet going past the door and also into it. So let's talk through your menu in general. What type of food do you serve?
Okay, so it's breakfast and lunch restaurant.
Okay.
We're quite famous for our breakfasts. The one particular is the good old scramble, which you're going to also be tasting today. Creamy, good old scrambled eggs.
Wholesome.
But then all our food is just handmade quality food. We don't buy bulk. Everything is fresh, locally sourced. Like our pasta's handmade. We've got a little bit of everything for everyone on our menu, including gluten-free dishes, vegan dishes.
Oh, wow.
We like to cater for a wide range of clientele.
How big is this kitchen of yours?
Tiny. I think it's tiny. It's big enough, though.
Okay. Well, this is okay. So let's talk through the three dishes that you've brought in today. So we know a bit about you. You studied in France. You worked at Taste. You said, hey,
Test Kitchen.
Test Kitchen. Test Kitchen is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I remember working with old Tom Brokaw from NBC one day, and he landed there, and the first thing he asked was, "Can someone tell me where the Test Kitchen is, please?" Because they all heard about it. So it's a great place to learn. So now let's talk through the three dishes that you've brought in. And we'll take a bit of a break. I'll do a bit of a taste. I don't like doing that sort of thing on air because it can get rather messy and you can't hear what I have to say. But we'll do an introduction to the dishes first.
Okay, so you have the good old scramble, which is the breakfast I spoke about. Creamy mushrooms, balsamic, caramelized onions. The secret is cream and parmesan, a lot of parmesan.
Ooh.
And then on the lunch side, I couldn't decide which pasta to bring you, so I bought a bit of both.
Okay.
We have a vegetarian pasta, which is our basil and pistachio nut pesto. And then we have a creamy lamb pasta, which takes about 4 days to make. So
4 days. Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's a long process.
We'll find out more about that. So joining you is Katja Surf, who is the founder of Smak in Bree Street. Three phenomenal dishes. I'll have a bit of a taste and we'll talk a little bit more about the dishes that they have. But I think it's also more than just the dishes. It's the ambiance of the place. It's, how do you differentiate yourself from other places in Bree Street? There are lots of restaurants, of course, in the city of Cape Town itself. But when we return, we'll find out more. Well, there you go. I've got to tell you, I just did the breakfast one, the toast with the scrambled eggs and lots of parmesan and mushrooms, etc. It's just absolutely divine. So you say you cater for everybody. What about those who want carb-free?
So this breakfast in particular is Banting friendly without the toast. And then we also offer a Banting toast as an alternative. It's made just with seeds and
I'm sorry.
some nuts.
I've tried. Life's too short not to have proper bread.
But we have like a great options like quiche without a base, you know, and I'm there every day. Speak to me if you want anything special. I can help you out.
Absolutely. So as an owner, you're there every day and you work the hours. You're in the kitchen itself.
Yeah, I move between the kitchen and the front of house wherever I'm needed, basically. But I do oversee the kitchen 100%.
Okay, brilliant. So what differentiates you from other businesses in that area, other than your menu? I mean, I would definitely rock up there most mornings to have this breakfast. It's wonderful. But what else differentiates you from some of the other restaurants there?
So I think the key is consistent quality, which we make sure we offer, and I think that helps, or it's possible because I'm there all the time.
Yeah,
I'm able to oversee every single dish that goes out the kitchen, every drink. I oversee everything. I'm constantly tasting, looking for new ways to improve, and listening to my customers. That's the most important thing, I think. Hearing what your clientele want and what they need, and then acting on that. And
innovation's a big thing. Well, on the one hand, you need to innovate, and on the other hand, you shouldn't be changing it too much because you still want the same people to come back and enjoy their good old favourites. So how do you strike the balance between the two?
So it is a difficult one. You want to constantly create new dishes, and it keeps the kitchen excited. But the key for us is to keep the same classics on our menu consistently throughout the year,
right?
And then to alternate a few dishes, take them off the menu, put them back on the menu, just to keep people excited coming back. And then we also have a special most days, which allows the chefs to create what they want, and it gives us opportunity to be, you know, a bit creative in the kitchen.
So you were talking about the one pasta, the lamb one that takes how many days? 3? 4 days. Oh my word! Yeah. All right, explain to me, how does this 4-day thing work?
So we get the lamb in, we cure it overnight in like a salt cure.
So after you sheared it? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
I'm not that kind of chef. Then we roast it in the oven. That takes a good 4 to 5 hours in the oven. Okay. Then we have to make the base of the sauce after that, and we mix the lamb into the base of the sauce. We have to make our pasta to go with it, roll the pasta, dry the pasta, and then we can cook it. So it's a long process. So don't try it at home.
No.
Come to Smak.
I'm too lazy to try that at home for starters. And then so with a dish like that, I mean, it must be costly as well. I mean, to be able to do something like that. So how do you then strike the balance between, you know, fresh and enough stock to make sure that, you know, 150 people don't rock up at one time wanting a particular meal because they heard about it on the radio station. So the stock management thing, how does that work?
So I have lamb coming in today, so we're going to start processing that meat. So we'll definitely have enough for the rest of the week, and basically you just have to be on it all the time. But what I always say to the chefs is rather make it fresh and run out than back up food and let it go off and spoil. Rather,
you don't want that.
Fresh is best, right? So I'd rather just tell the customer, sorry, be honest, we're out of the dish. It just goes to show how fresh our ingredients are.
Well, and get you earlier next time, you'll have the dish, right?
Yeah. Or phone and pre-order.
So what's the biggest lessons that you've learned? I mean, do you have a business background at all when it comes to running? Because that must have been a baptism of fire. Before you even, you know, hit the kitchen, there are all sorts of stuff you need to have in place as a business.
I mean, I opened the business when I was 21. Mm-hmm. So I had those 3 years of short-lived experience in the kitchens, but no knowledge about how to run a business. But I think I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Yeah. And I've just been learning as I go.
So you hustle, basically.
Exactly. You make mistakes, you learn from them, you grow, you move on. And I think I don't think any college could teach me what I've learned in these 4 years running a business. I can do 3 degrees, and I don't think I could learn what I've learned.
That is so true, actually.
So I think it's vitally important.
What are some of the key lessons you've learned?
Staff management. I think that's one of the hardest issues to deal with in a business. Finding the balance between being a friend and supportive to your staff, but also being their boss and showing them who is boss and earning their respect. that's one big lesson that I've learned. In the beginning, for the first year, I felt like I had no respect for my staff, and over the time, I've learned how to earn that respect.
So what's your trick? Come on, give us a little bit of... If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. But I'm always interested in the sort of leadership side of things of various businesses, and this can be no different, because that kitchen can be high pressured if you're full. If you're having lunch, you have breakfast there, and everybody they want to go, they've got to have a meeting, but they want to dig into your offerings. It's high pressured, and you've got to put your foot down. So how do you actually balance it?
Well, you have to be thick-skinned, and that's what I am. I've grown layers of skin over the years. Mm-hmm. But I think for me, I lead by example. Okay. And that's how I've earned that respect, is that every single job in the kitchen, in the front of house, the barista, the sculler, I've worked a day in everyone's shoes to experience what it's like, and well, not even a day, more than one day across the 4 years. So I think I can do everybody's job.
Brilliant.
And I think that's what...
Because you'll need to as well, because people do call in ill.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of business owners think they can just oversee everything and hope that everything works out. But you actually have to know the faults, the errors, what's working, what's not working within the actual business itself.
Phenomenal. The food's great. Absolutely phenomenal. I love the fact that it's rich, it's creamy, it caters for various people as well, including the banters out there. I'll stick to the normal toast. Thank you very much. But a wonderful business indeed, and all the best. And by the way, how do you deal with pressure?
You
don't throw cleavers at people, do you?
No, sometimes pots. No, you just kind of, in the moment when you're in the kitchen, you're a different person to who you are outside the kitchen. I can be in the kitchen in a high pressure environment and handle it in one way, but then you have to step out and deal with the customer, and you just have to learn how to. It just comes with experience.
Well, gotcha, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And you should check it out, Smak, and it's in Lower Bree Street, so closer to the foreshore. What number again?
22.
22. Go and check it out. So thank you so much for making time and actually making these dishes. I'll taste some more of them once the show's done.